Welcome to our spine-chilling countdown of the top 10 most haunted places in America. Prepare yourself for ghostly whispers, eerie apparitions, and tales that will send shivers down your spine. We're not just talking about creaky floorboards and flickering lights. We're diving headfirst into locations where the veil between our world and the next is paper-thin, where the echoes of tragedy and despair cling to the very fabric of reality. These are places where the dead don't just rest. They roam, they interact, they make their presence undeniably known. Are you ready to confront the darkness, to feel the icy grip of unseen hands and hear voices from beyond the grave? We're about to embark on a journey to the epicenters of paranormal activity, places so saturated with spiritual energy that even the most hardened skeptics have been forced to question what they thought they knew. These aren't just stories. These are documented encounters, investigated phenomena, and raw, unfiltered fear. Each location holds a unique key to understanding the mysteries that lie beyond our comprehension. Join me, Ko Hin Maung, as we peel back the layers of history and legend to expose the terrifying truths lurking within these infamous sites. We'll explore the pain, the suffering, and the residual energy that fuels these hauntings. This isn't for the faint of heart. This is an exploration into the heart of fear itself, a quest for answers in the most haunted corners of the nation. Lock your doors, turn up the volume, and prepare to believe. Our first descent into darkness takes us to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to the formidable walls of Eastern State Penitentiary. This place wasn't just a prison, it was a crucible of solitary confinement designed to break the spirit. Imagine for a moment the sheer weight of human misery that soaked into these stone walls for over 140 years. Thousands of souls passed through these gates, many experiencing isolation so profound it bordered on torture. The air here is thick with residual energy, the kind that imprints itself onto the environment, replaying moments of intense emotion. We're talking about full-bodied apparitions, disembodied voices crying out in the dead of night, and shadowy figures darting through cell blocks. Investigators, including myself, have captured undeniable evidence here. EVPs of inmates long dead, unexplained bangs, and chilling cold spots that defy logical explanation. Cell Block 12 is notorious for cackling laughter, while the old hospital wing is said to be home to tormented spirits, still reliving their final agonizing moments. You can almost feel the desperation clinging to you as you walk these decaying corridors. The very architecture, with its radial design, seems to amplify the paranormal. This isn't just a relic of a brutal past, it's an active hotspot, a place where the tortured souls of former inmates are trapped in an endless cycle of suffering, forever bound to this monument of despair. Next, we journey to the majestic yet deeply unsettling Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. This grand establishment, nestled in the Rocky Mountains, isn't just famous for its stunning views. It's infamous for inspiring Stephen King's chilling masterpiece. And let me tell you, the fiction barely scratches the surface of the paranormal reality here. Guests and staff have reported a symphony of the supernatural phantom piano music echoing from the deserted ballroom, the laughter of unseen children running through the halls and objects moving on their own accord. Flora Stanley, the original owner's wife, is often seen or heard playing her beloved piano, her spectral presence a common occurrence. Room 217, where King himself stayed, is a vortex of activity, but it's far from the only haunted space. The fourth floor, once the servants' quarters, is particularly active, with reports of ghostly children and the stern apparition of Lord Dunraven, the previous landowner. It's as if the hotel itself is alive, a living, breathing entity that has absorbed decades of emotions, events, and perhaps souls. You can feel a distinct energy shift as you walk its opulent corridors, a sense that you're never truly alone. The Stanley doesn't just offer a luxurious stay, it offers a direct line to the spirit world, a place where the elegance of the past meets the chilling presence of its ghostly residents. Prepare yourselves, because our next location, Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky, is not for the faint of heart. This former tuberculosis hospital witnessed unimaginable suffering and death. With estimates of tens of thousands perishing within its walls during its operation, the sheer scale of human tragedy here has left an indelible scar on the environment, creating one of the most intensely haunted locations in the entire country. The infamous body chute, a tunnel used to discreetly remove the dead, is a conduit for paranormal energy, a place where cold spots and disembodied moans are frequently reported. The air is heavy, oppressive, filled with the lingering sorrow of countless lost lives. Investigators and visitors alike speak of shadowy figures flitting through the darkened rooms, doors slamming shut with violent force, and blood-curdling screams echoing from empty corridors. One of the most notorious entities is the Creeper, a dark, crawling mass often seen on the walls and ceilings, a terrifying manifestation that defies explanation. Room 502 is another focal point, allegedly the site of nurse suicides where feelings of intense despair and unexplained phenomena are common. Waverly Hills is more than just an abandoned building. It's a monument to pain, a place where the veil is so thin the spirits of the tormented seem to reach out, desperate for acknowledgement or perhaps something more sinister. Chapter 4: Gettysburg Battlefield, Phantoms of War. We now tread upon hallowed and deeply haunted ground, the Gettysburg Battlefield in Pennsylvania. This site bore witness to one of the bloodiest and most pivotal battles of the Civil War, a brutal three-day conflict that claimed over 50,000 casualties. The sheer intensity of emotion, the fear, the pain, the courage, the despair unleashed on these fields has left an undeniable psychic imprint. It's said that the spirits of fallen soldiers, both Union and Confederate, still roam these grounds, forever replaying their final tragic moments. The air itself seems to crackle with residual energy, a palpable sense of history and loss. Visitors and paranormal investigators frequently report the sounds of phantom cannon fire, the smell of gunpowder lingering in the air on still nights, and the chilling sight of spectral soldiers marching in formation across the fields, particularly in areas like Devil's Den and Little Round Top. Full-bodied apparitions in period uniforms have been seen, sometimes appearing so real that they're mistaken for historical reenactors, only to vanish into thin air. These aren't just echoes of the past, these are active manifestations, souls perhaps unaware they are dead or forever tied to the trauma of their violent end. Gettysburg is a stark reminder that the horrors of war can transcend time, leaving behind an army of restless spirits. Chapter 5: The Myrtles Plantation, A Legacy of Vengeance. Our journey takes us deep into the heart of the South, to St. Francisville, Louisiana, and the beautiful yet profoundly disturbing Myrtles Plantation. Often cited as one of America's most haunted homes, this antebellum estate is steeped in a dark history of tragedy, murder, and rumored voodoo curses. The beauty of its sprawling oaks and charming architecture belies the sinister energies that reside within. The most famous or infamous entity is Chloe, a former slave girl whose spirit is said to haunt the grounds, seeking vengeance or perhaps forgiveness for a tragic act. Her apparition has been reportedly captured in photographs, a ghostly figure peering from the shadows. But Chloe is not alone. The plantation is said to be home to at least a dozen other spirits, including children who died tragically, and William Winter, an owner who was shot on the porch and died crawling up the stairs, his ghostly footsteps still heard today. Visitors report unexplained handprints appearing on mirrors, objects moving, cold spots, and the eerie sound of a baby crying when no infant is present. The grand mirror in the foyer is particularly active, said to trap the spirits of Sarah Woodruff and her children. The Myrtles Plantation is a place where the opulence of the Old South collides with a legacy of suffering, creating a potent and unsettling paranormal brew. Chapter 6: Alcatraz Island, the rock's restless inmates. We now venture to the chilling waters of San Francisco Bay, to the notorious Alcatraz Island, home to what was once America's most formidable federal penitentiary. The Rock housed some of the nation's most dangerous criminals, men like Al Capone and Machine Gun Kelly. The conditions were harsh, the isolation profound, and the despair palpable. It's no surprise that this island fortress is now considered one of the most haunted prisons in the world. The cries, whispers, and anguished moans of former inmates are said to echo through the empty cell blocks, particularly in D Block, also known as the Hole, where prisoners endured brutal solitary confinement. Park rangers, visitors, and paranormal investigators have documented a wealth of unexplained phenomena. Phantom banjo music Capone was known to play, cell doors slamming shut on their own, inexplicable cold spots. and the unsettling feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. Some have even reported being touched or pushed by invisible forces. The old hospital wing and the citadel beneath the cell house are also hot spots of activity. Alcatraz isn't just a museum, it's a place where the suffering and rage of its former inhabitants have become permanently etched into the very stone and steel, their tormented spirits forever incarcerated on this desolate island. Our next haunted destination floats majestically in Long Beach, California, the RMS Queen Mary. This grand ocean liner, once the epitome of luxury travel, has a storied past filled with glamour, wartime service and tragic accidents. Now permanently docked and serving as a hotel and tourist attraction, the Queen Mary is renowned as one of the most haunted places on Earth. The ship is a veritable floating city of ghosts, with numerous spirits reportedly sighted and experienced throughout its many decks and corridors. From the engine room to the first-class staterooms, paranormal activity is rampant. Among the most famous spectral residents are the Lady in White, often seen dancing alone in the Queen's salon, and the spirit of a young sailor named John Pedder, who was tragically crushed to death in engine room door 13 during a drill. Visitors also report hearing children's laughter and splashing sounds near the long-dismantled first-class swimming pool, where several drownings occurred. Stateroom B340 is so notoriously haunted that it was closed to the public for years, with reports of faucets turning on by themselves, lights flickering, and bed sheets being pulled off sleeping guests. The Queen Mary is not just a ship, it's a time capsule of souls, a vessel carrying a spectral crew and passengers on an eternal voyage. Chapter 8. Salem, Massachusetts, the Witch City's Curse. We now travel to a town whose name is synonymous with dark history and witchcraft, Salem, Massachusetts. The infamous Salem witch trials of 1692 saw innocent people accused, imprisoned, and executed, leaving an indelible stain of injustice and tragedy on this historic New England town. The intense emotions and trauma of that period are believed to have created a powerful residual haunting, with the spirits of both the accusers and the accused still lingering. The entire town seems to pulse with an eerie energy, a constant reminder of its grim past. Locations like the old Burying Point Cemetery, where several judges from the trials are interred, and the Joshua Ward House, built on the former property of Sheriff George Corwin, known for his cruel interrogation methods, are hotspots for paranormal activity. Visitors report feeling unexplained cold spots, hearing disembodied whispers, and even seeing apparitions in period clothing. The Howard Street Cemetery is another site where the spirit of Giles Corey, a man pressed to death during the trials, is said to roam, his appearance heralding misfortune. Salem is a town where history and the supernatural are inextricably linked, a place where the echoes of persecution and fear still resonate strongly today. Chapter 9. Bobby Mackey's Music World, a portal to hell. Our penultimate stop takes us to Wilder, Kentucky, and a location with a reputation so dark it's often referred to as a portal to hell, Bobby Mackey's Music World. This unassuming country music nightclub is built on a site with a bloody and violent history. Allegedly, once a 19th century slaughterhouse and later the scene of satanic rituals and tragic murders, the building itself seems to have absorbed this darkness, becoming a conduit for malevolent entities and intense paranormal phenomena. The basement, with its old well rumored to be the gateway, is particularly feared. Patrons and staff have reported a terrifying array of experiences. Aggressive physical attacks by unseen forces, disembodied growls and screams, and apparitions of figures like Joanna, a young woman said to have been murdered there by her lover in the 1890s, her spirit forever seeking justice or perhaps company. Another prominent spirit is that of Pearl Bryan, whose headless body was found nearby, her murder connected to the site's dark past. Investigators have documented extreme temperature drops, flying objects, and EVPs filled with threats and curses. Bobby Mackey's is not just a haunted honky-tonk, it's a place where the veil feels dangerously thin, a battleground between good and evil. Chapter 10. The Villisca Axe Murder House, a Family's Nightmare. Our final, and perhaps most chilling destination is the Villisca Axe Murder House in Villisca, Iowa. On a quiet June night in 1912, this unassuming white farmhouse became the scene of one of America's most gruesome and still unsolved crimes. 8 people, Josiah Moore, his wife Sarah, their 4 children and 2 young houseguests were brutally murdered in their beds with an axe. The sheer brutality and mystery surrounding the crime have left an almost unbearable sense of dread and sorrow clinging to the house, making it a focal point for intense paranormal activity. Visitors who dare to spend the night report hearing the disembodied whispers and laughter of children, objects moving on their own, and the distinct sound of footsteps pacing the upstairs hallway when no one is there. Many experience profound feelings of sadness, fear, and even aggression. EVPs have captured what sound like children's voices, and some have seen indentations appearing on beds, as if someone unseen is sitting or lying down. The spirits of the Moore family and their young guests are believed to be trapped within these walls, forever replaying the horror of their final night. The Villisca Axe Murder House stands as a grim testament to a horrific tragedy, its silence broken only by the whispers of its restless dead. Our outro, The Lingering Shadows. Thanks for joining us on this eerie journey through America's most haunted places. We've walked through the shadowed corridors of abandoned prisons, listened for phantom whispers in historic hotels, and felt the chill of spectral energies on ancient battlefields. These locations are more than just brick and mortar. They are receptacles of intense human emotion, places where tragedy and time have conspired to blur the lines between our world and the next. The stories are chilling, the evidence compelling, and the experiences unforgettable. If you dare, visit these locations and experience the paranormal for yourself, but be warned. Once you open the door to the spirit world, you might find that some presences are eager to make contact, to share their stories, or perhaps to never let you forget them. The veil is thin in these places, and the echoes of the past are always listening. Remember to approach these sites with respect, for you are treading on ground where spirits still walk, their stories waiting to be heard by those brave enough to listen. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-tingling content as we continue to explore the unknown and seek answers from the other side. We want to hear about your own encounters, your own unexplained experiences. Share your stories in the comments below. Until next time, stay spooky, keep an open mind, and never stop questioning what lies beyond the shadows.